I have Brandon here. I woke him up nice and early so we could work on this. Just went to O'Reilly's and picked up some fluid for the differential. I decided not to go with like the fancy royal purple just yet because there is a break-in period for the differential and there's no point in putting the fancy fluid in and then removing it in 500 miles. So let's go. Here's the cameraman. Do I look like a giant douchebag? Don't answer that. Okay. So as you guys have probably noticed, I haven't uploaded in months. So my poor car has been sitting in the garage, just covered with blankets, not being driven. So I have to turn it around so we can do the install. So I'm gonna try to get some, terribly cinematic shots that will be terrible of me pulling these off and get a cold start. I can't take myself serious. So when I'm starting the car, I always put it in run a couple of times to prime the fuel system. I think that's what that does. It sounds like I know what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna do that a couple more times and then I'll start it. You guys like how dry that sounded? It sounded good. It sounded like it was great on the cam. All right, we good.
2 hours later.
All right, guys, so we have the original 262 open diff off. If you want to get a look underneath really quick, you can see the axles hanging and the drive shaft. You pretty much have to pull off the exhaust, or at least disconnect it so it hangs. And then you pretty much have to fight the axles to get them out. There's no like easy way to do it, but we found that if you lift the tires up and put a block underneath one of them, it gives you a little more play. And if you want to see, there's no real like visual difference between the old one and the new one, other than the new one being clean. You do have to take this tube off from the old one, put it on the new one. That is one thing that didn't come with it. So we're gonna get the new one strapped on, fill it with oil. I'm not sure when it'll be easiest to put oil in it. I'm guessing as it's kind of hanging still, that way we have more vertical room. But yeah, that's where we're at. Okay guys, so please excuse the super messy garage behind me. It is now the next day. We got the differential installed yesterday. It was a huge pain in the butt, so I'm gonna go ahead and go over the final steps that we did to put it on. Basically, it's exactly like you took the other one off. I'll go ahead and show some pictures of it as well. So in total, what you're doing when you're replacing the differential is you first should take the exhaust off from the mid pipes back. We found that you weren't able to disconnect the differential from the axles without taking off the exhaust, at least not easily. Then once you have the exhaust taken off, you can start unbolting the drive shaft. The drive shaft has like 6 bolts, and I believe they're T50s, so they're not normal bolt patterns, so you'll have to get a special ratchet head for it. Then from there you can basically start loosening the bolts that are on the differential itself. There are 4 main bolts that connect it to the frame and the area around it. I seriously recommend putting a jack under it, because you're not gonna, unless you have a lift and you have some way to hold it up, it's just gonna fall, and you don't want that to happen. So put a jack underneath it. You'll use the jack to raise the new one up into place anyways. And we found that there's no easy way to really disconnect the axles from the differential. You just kind of have to play with it, just try to get a good angle. And we found that it was a lot easier when we raised up the car even higher. That way we had more room to lower it, and that way if we needed to lift up one of the tires so the axle gave us an angle with more play, we were able to do that. And then installing the new one is exactly the same. There's no crazy step you need to do. There's no weird process or anything. It's also worth mentioning that the car runs fine without a tune. I did notice that the shift points are a little different, which makes sense. The car is going to rev differently because of you know, the different gear ratio, but they also feel a little stiff sometimes when the car downshifts. So I'm gonna figure out what I need to do to fix that. Probably just a tune, but for now it's not too bad, and it's only noticeable once in a while. So I'm probably just gonna leave it how it is for now. I have a first impressions video coming soon. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to push the car too bad. Some people are saying that there's a 500-mile break-in period. I don't know if I'm gonna go the entire 500 miles, but I have about 100 so far, so at least enough to give you guys a first impression, and it's working well so far, no issues. So hopefully, crossing my fingers, it stays that way. And yeah, so one thing I didn't mention about the new differential, when I was comparing the looks of both of them, this new one has fins on it, which makes sense. It's the 3.09 off of like Scats and maybe not Hellcats. The Hellcats might have a different one, but I know it's the 3.09 they use on 6.4s. Whereas the open diff that came on the car doesn't have fins. It looks like almost not a perfect sphere, but you know what I mean. It's smooth. So I hope this helped you a little bit if you were on the edge, afraid to do this yourselves. Obviously, you could pay a dealer to do it, but that's boring. I think that's personally boring, so try to do it myself, or at least with a couple buddies, since I'm not strong. Let me know what you think, what should be next for the car. I really wanted to do this. It's been sitting in my garage for about 2 months. Anyways, I'd like to thank you guys for watching the video. I'm sorry it's been so long since I last uploaded. I've been at school and it's been a crazy semester getting a ton of stuff done. I'm gonna try to pump out content while I'm on my breaks and hopefully save some so I can space it out as I'm at school. And anyways, yeah, let me know what you guys think of the new mod, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.